With the comical fight between Luffy and Lucci coming to a close, Kizaru soon approaches the island. The clock is ticking because no one wants to be on the island when Kizaru arrives. Lucci is not one to back out of a fight just because he's fighting a supposed emperor, because, in his eyes, Monkey D. Luffy is not an emperor. He's probably a Kaido fanboy. Now that Sentomaru is done and dusted, or is he? We never know when it comes to Eiichiro Oda. The Seraphim, S-Hawk, S-Snake, S-Bear, and S-Shark are now under the control of the CPO. The remaining Straw Hats have retreated to the Frontier Dome along with Bonnie, who finally wakes up. Now what will happen? That is precisely what today's video is about. So welcome back to the channel. Today we'll talk about what is up with the Bartholomew Kuma, how Egghead is the Zou to the Elbaf arc, how Zoro might be way stronger than Kaku, Kid's role in the next arc, and Garp vs Blackbeard. So let's start as we grind through another chapter of One Piece. The infamous Bartholomew Kuma, a man of few words. One side sees him as a tyrant, while the other sees him as a genuinely lovely person. Which Kuma is the real one? Let us gather what we know about Kuma and try to understand why he flew across paradise just to crash land on the Red Port. Kuma was once the Sorbet King, and was surprisingly known as the Tyrant. And the next time we see him is during the ASL flashback when he appears with Monkey D. Dragon at 25. And it is later confirmed by Ivankov that Kuma is indeed a part of the Revolutionary Army. But he's not the same Kuma anymore and has turned into a mindless pacifist, listening only to the government. In the Reverie arc, we see the real Kuma, who saved the Straw Hats on Saboti Archipelago. But he is now the ultimate slave of the Celestial Dragons. Not for long though, as he is saved by the commanders of the Revolutionary Army and taken to the Kamabaka Kingdom, where Lindbergh, the crazy cat mink, tries to fix him. But he suddenly starts running and launches himself with the power of the pawpaw fruit across paradise. To everyone's surprise, he lands on Red Port. Many theorize, including ourselves, that it might be an error because his body is ragged and he meant to aim for Egghead, where his daughter Bonnie and maker Dr. Vegapunk are at. It can also be because he wishes to save someone, maybe Neftari Vivi from Mary Joie. Or is Kuma reenacting the attack by the robot 200 years ago because that is what Vegapunk was modifying him to be? The last one is our personal favorite theory. We can all but speculate at this point. What do you think is happening to Kuma, and what is Vegapunk hiding from Bonnie? Zou is a relatively short arc right after the conclusion of the Big Dressrosa arc that focused on helping the audience stay updated on how the outside world is changing because of what happened to Doflamingo. It didn't focus much on combat, but it's still one of the arcs that added the most to the world building, with things like the Road Poneglyph being revealed and the formation of the alliance that faced Kaido. Egghead is much like Zou. It started after the major Wano arc, officially kicking off the final saga, and now we are looking at how the world is molding into Luffy's action on Wano, and how the outside world has changed. Egghead so far has revealed Seraphim to us, the origin of devil fruits, bits and pieces about the Void Century, and like Raizo and Zou, we have gained Dr. Vega Bond, or more like 6 of him. Now that the Straw Hats are gathered on the Frontier Dome, they think that they are safe. But something unexpected happens. Someone lets down the Frontier Dome, allowing the Cypher Pole to infiltrate the dome. Who did this? Is it someone from the worst generation? Or has one of the Vegapunk satellites gone rogue because it is implied that someone sabotaged it? And it can be possible that some part of his brain wanted to stay with the government in pursuit of science, thus sabotaging the real Vegapunk to continue the research. In the same chapter, the real Vegapunk also asks someone for help. However, we, the fans, are left wondering whom Vegapunk is referring to. Is it someone from the worst generation, like X-Drake or Urouge? Is it someone from Roger's crew? Is it a giant? Is it a smoker? We have even seen speculation that it can be Bon Clay, but we can't say what is going on in Oda's head. The man who purposefully made Kanjiro hold his brush in the left hand, highlighting the fact that he's the mole for 400 chapters. Judging from how the story progresses, we can confidently speculate that Egghead will conclude in 5 to 10 chapters, and it will provide the base for the next big arc, Elbaf, the Land of Giants, where it is speculated that the last Road Poneglyph is. And the man waiting on Elbaf is Loki, the man who was once arranged to be Lola's fiancé, and Big Mom had claimed that she would have long become the Pirate King if her crew joined Loki's army. We are unable to hold our excitement for what's to come. Hence, Egghead is the Zoe to Elbaf and is integral to the world building of One Piece. With the Cypher Pole Aegis Zero infiltrating the Frontier Dome, they head where the Sunny Go is anchored. The one who lunges right at the ship is none other than the square-nosed Usopp Kaku, the Giraffe Man. Though he is delusional, thinking that he could get off the boat belonging to an emperor just like that because someone is still on board. That someone is Roronoa Zoro, one of the wings to the future Pirate King, Monkey D. Luffy. Zoro manages to repel Kaku's slicking kick with a slash of his own. We all know that Zoro managed to beat Kaido's right-hand man, King the Lunarian. With Enma, Wado Ichinmonji, and Sandai Kitetsu, Zoro might be one of the strongest fighters on Egghead, along with Sanji and Jinbei just below Luffy. But we can also speculate that, like Lucci, Kaku is an awakened Zoan Devil Fruit user who has managed to retain his sentience despite awakening the Zoan Fruit. Whatever the situation may be, Zoro, thanks to his Enma, definitely hails superior to Kaku. Like Luffy managed to give Lucci a beating easily, it will probably be the same for Zoro and Kaku. And the Straw Hats shall escape Egghead. Though since Oda is the author, one can be certain that something crazy will happen towards the end of this arc. The man who made an appearance in this chapter is the big hitter from the Wano arc, Captain Kidd. The man who took down the Emperor, Big Mom, along with Trafalgar Law. Kidd appears to be heading for Elbaf as well. To remind all of our viewers, it is worth mentioning that Elbaf is Shanks' territory, and we all knew the history between the two redheads. Shanks is the one who destroyed Kidd's arm. The last road poneglyph is likely on Elbaf, along with something that can shake the world to its core. An ancient weapon likely to be Uranus. We all know that the Straw Hat crew is leaving Egghead soon, and their following location is most definitely Elbaf. The island Usopp has always dreamt of visiting. The place home to giants, and probably the place that holds the key to the several essential factors in One Piece, like the Lodestar Island, Laugh Tale, and possibly God Valley. We speculate that the Kid will team up with Luffy for the final war, and we'll learn about the beef between Kid and Shanks. The Straw Hat fleet is sure to make an appearance in the final saga, and Elbaf can be a place where the seeds of war are planted. The place will likely hold some key for Vegapunk and some way for Straw Hats to discover the Void Century. Long story short, we think that the Kid is to be the Trafalgar Law for the Elbaf arc, but a strange twist from Oba would be appreciated. The chapter ends with a shocking reveal that Vice-Admiral Garp the Hero is heading for the Blackbeard's home turf, the Beehive Island, to save Captain Coby. This encounter could shake the world to its core, no pun intended. Garp is amassing soldiers from the G-14 Naval Base, and we can assume that the Navy soldiers at G-14 include Smoker and Tashigi. Along with these two and Helmeppo, Garp heads to the headquarters of an emperor, but he's reasonably confident. Is he really that strong compared to an emperor with 2 devil fruits? What do you think? On the other hand, it is pretty strange for Blackbeard to kidnap Coby, a boy with no devil fruit. And Coby isn't the only one he kidnapped recently. It was revealed through a cover story that he also captured Big Mom's daughter, Pudding, the girl who can read poneglyph if her third eye awakens. Kobe's major feat after the time skip is the fact that he's the hero of the Rocky Port incident. However, what does that have to do with the Blackbeard? It would be quite something to witness a clash between Garp and Blackbeard. Garp has faced Rox D. Zebek, Roger, Rayleigh, and others deemed to be the strongest individuals in all of One Piece. Even 38 years after his prime, he was able to land a punch on Marco the Phoenix. Thus, he lives up to his title as the hero of Marine. In comparison, Blackbeard is the commodore of his 10 Titanic captains, each more ferocious than the other. He has the Darkness fruit and the Quake fruit, with the former being the strongest Logia fruit. Blackbeard even managed to stand up to Garp and Sengoku during the War of the Best. So, who will be the winner, and what impact will this have on the world? So many questions, yet so little answers. That sums up this week's chapter of One Piece. Every chapter of this Egghead arc is living up to the expectations we have from the final saga. The things related to Void Century, origin of Devil Fruits, Vegapunk himself, and Elbaf. These are topics that fans have been speculating about for decades. And finally, the truth is being unraveled right before our eyes. If you want to stay connected with the One Piece community, check out our next video here. Also, if you enjoyed it, drop us a like and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date. On that note, allow me to take a leave, and I'll be back soon with another video. Peace.